What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Grinderslive, the flagship show here on Rotogrinders. We have kept our producer, Devin, busy behind the scenes today. I am substituting for Dean. I've got Kirk Dees, Chris Kirkwood, substituting in for Stevie. Yo, Chris, long time no see, dude.
Yeah, man, good to see you. Hope all is well. See you playing on Yahoo from time to time.
Listen, you chase me out of there. You're too good. You win all the money over there every night. No, I've got other things. Randomly, probably no one's ever really heard of it, but Stat Hero. I like you play them in like a head to head. That's like I don't even understand how this is available, but it's great. So that's my new thing right now.
Nice.
But yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Grinderslive. It's gonna be a fun show today. We've got 14 games in baseball. So we're going to have fun with that. But before we get to that, I do have quite a few things to share with you today. First, I guess I'll talk about Rotogrinders Premium here. You know, we got Cheese's article. We got Lineup HQ. Cheese did a really great job breaking down pitching today. If you ever want to read basically the best baseball article in the business, in my opinion, that is a premium subscription over here. And since this is on YouTube, this is a free show. So some of you might not have access to it. But if you ever did want to, either the combo premium or single sport, we're offering a $10 off your first month. Devin will drop the link in the chat here, so check that out. Very relevant for baseball if you want the basketball stuff. Huge slates for basketball tonight. I'm not dabbling in basketball. Kirkwood, you dabbling in both sports tonight, or you just focusing on baseball?
I wanted to play basketball, but since I picked up the show, I don't think I'm going to be able to make my lineups in time because I was, the Celtics are on, so I wanted to play tonight, but I'm not going to end up playing because of the 6:30 start or whatever.
I was in the same boat. I was just starting to register, and Dean threw up the bat signal. Well, not the bat signal, that's Cardi's, but the Brit signal is like, can you do a show for me? And here I am to help out our boy Dean. But yeah, I guess Kirkwood, let's jump into this, right? This is probably the strangest slate of the year. Normally in 14 games, right? There's a game in cores. There's 6 games with team totals, 5 or greater. There's none today, and there's a lot of pitching. What do you think's going to end up winning today? Is it going to be like 2 pitchers going for 35 plus, DraftKings points, 60 FanDuel, one guy going for 60? You're on Yahoo. Pitching's really important over there. What's going to lead the way today? It's a much different slate than normal.
It's a little similar to yesterday, although with a little bit crazier, like you alluded to. We do have high-end pitching, kind of like similar to yesterday, and that they kind of separate themselves from the rest of the pack. It's not quite the same high-end as we had yesterday when we had Cole, who used to be high-end pitching until last night. We had a lot of good options last night, with Walker Buehler, with Darvish. Tonight we've got Brandon Woodruff, who's been electric from a K perspective stuff. Mm-hmm. We've got Blake Snell, who we know hasn't been great this season, but has been great in the past and has an absolutely great matchup tonight. We've got Jameson Taillon, who's doing much better this year and seemingly gets better, although had a few blips in his last start, but the strikeout stuff was there. Andrew Haney, that's another guy who can put up a lot of points in the strikeout departments, can also get shelled and give up home runs when he's not on, when his fastball command isn't, he's not hitting his spots. So, and then we have Zach Wheeler. This is a guy that we can feel pretty confident that he can throw 100 plus pitches I think he's gone out at least 105 in 4 starts this season or something like that. So we've got that. Then we've got like kind of good mid-tier. Then we've got some weird, bullpen situations or guys that are going to have short outings, maybe 4 innings tops from some of these guys. So, and like you said, we don't have any of these massive team totals. We do have some good spots. The Yankees are in a pretty good spot against Folty, although they don't have the left-handed power that, we usually like to have against Folty, but Folty is certainly a home run liability. The Yankees can certainly hit home runs. We've got the Braves could erupt against a bullpen game against the Mets, although the Mets bullpen is pretty good this season. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays. That's probably leading leading the pack from the top overall run total perspective against Matt Harvey, who's pitched decently, but maybe is getting a little bit lucky this season and is about to, he's probably going to get shelled tonight, I would guess. So I don't know. We've got spots. It's but it's going to be all about what stack comes through by the end of the night. I mean, some weird stack is going to go off tonight. There's just too many weird games.
Yeah, there's 28 teams playing. One of them is going to score 14 runs, and that's going to be the stack you need to do. So make sure to mix it up in tournaments. But let's apologies, I've been pretty sick the last couple days. Something snuck up on me right there. But let's get to pitching, and I guess I'll just start at the top. We rambled through like 7-8 guys you can play with tonight, Kirkwood. Who's your dude? You got to pick one. Who's the top of the heap for you?
Well, I never have to pick one. I got to pick two.
All right, so pick two. It's Panera, not something else.
For me, the guy that just feels the safest from a matchup perspective and does have K stuff is like I alluded to, that he's gone 105 pitches and 4 starts this season already, is Wheeler, and it just comes down to the matchup for me. He's facing Miami, who's number 6th in K percentage, so they're striking out a lot at over 26%. They're not only that, they have a very low isolated power against right-handed pitching, very low WRC plus. So this is just a very strong matchup for him now. And I expect him to go extremely deep in this one. So he's probably my favorite. Now, if I'm trying to beat him, Woodruff would be the guy. But the Royals are, although this is a weak Royals lineup, in general, it doesn't, it's not very intimidating. They don't strike out a ton. So they're, if you're going to look up, they're down to 19th again in K percentage against right-handed pitching. But Woodruff is capable of mowing all of them down anyway, though. I mean, his strikeout stuff has been very, very solid this season. So I think he probably brings the most upside to the table from a pricing standpoint. I'm a believer on Blake Snell. I'm going to take advantage of this price. I get it if you don't want to, if it doesn't make you feel comfortable. I'm trying to think optimistically with him, that he's going to put it together in this start tonight. I mean, the K stuff is there, 31% K percentage. Problem is he's at 15% walk percentage, which is ridiculous. The command is not there. He's not been hitting his spots. He's been going deep into every batter he faces, even the one, the Ks, he's ended up going, there's going to be a ton of pitches, but it's the Rockies on the road, Rocky Road. So this is a matchup that absolutely he can dominate. It's a great time for him to put it together. He did strike out 7 of them the last time, in his last, he just faced them in cores. So, I certainly expect him to do better tonight. The pitch count is a concern. He's got to, it's not good when you're giving up 15% walks and you're looking at a 95 pitch ceiling, pretty much. So I get it if you want to try to get around it, but I just know that Blake Snell is capable of mowing this lineup down. Maybe he puts it all together tonight, and so I'm going to be playing him personally.
Yeah. The walks, right? They kill you on DraftKings and on Yahoo. The limited pitch count hurts you on FanDuel, especially right when you're dealing with the Zach Wheelers, when you're dealing with the Lance Lynns, who are basically a lock to go those 6 innings. And if they're going to pick up the win and have a reasonably good outing, get that quality start. So it's a real the Rocky Road. I think you put it in there. Can Snell not give up all those walks? Can he have a good outing at home against the Rockies is really what's weighing on him. I'm glad you picked Wheeler as your top guy personally. That's the guy I'm rolling with tonight for all the reasons you said. I think his matchups premier. He goes deep. He doesn't really get blown up. So that's my favorite one of the group here. And I want to give a shout out to Devin, our producer. He's dropping some good funnies in the chat about Dean and with the chat, right? This is an interactive show, everyone. Please feel free to partake in it. You can ask questions. We'll get them towards the end of the show, or if somehow it's on point with whatever we're talking about, I'll try to work it into the show here. Let's see here. I do want to note, I refreshed our weather page. I don't know if Devin can bring it up here, but there is a couple interesting things to note. Devin, if you do have the ability to do it, let me know. And all right, so we've got it up here. Roth has moved the Washington at Cubs game to orange red. I think he had it yellow orange earlier in the day. He's recently just moved it to orange red. Guys, I was looking at Soto as basically a cash game play. Hasn't been great lately, and I know the temperature or the weather isn't too great there, but that's a little concerning. So that's something everyone's going to need to take point on. You can follow Roth on Twitter. I think it's Kevin Roth WX to get an update on that. And you did mention Woodruff. He had that as I think he had that Royals game as orange earlier in the day. He moved that down to yellow now. So I think I'm okay playing a guy like Woodruff in there. But that orange red, real quick, Kirkwood, were you looking at any bats from that game today?
I mean, I kind of want. I saw Soto was popping in projections. He's priced low on a couple of sites, and I kind of wanted to fade him because of the potential. That didn't look like a great game for him to go off because of the weather and stuff, whatnot. But I mean, man, I don't know. I probably would have had some, so I'll probably stay away. I know Schwarber was going to be really popular. I mean, Zach Davies has not been is someone you do want to play bats against typically. So it's a little concerning, but there's plenty of spots. So
yeah, just a heads up that's sort of a big change. That wasn't really on my radar at all. I refreshed the page. I see the color red. I wanted to bring that up to everybody. So make sure to keep your eyes tuned to any updates Roth will give on Twitter. I believe he'll be on Crunch Time later too. He'll have updated radar for that if you are a premium subscriber. Speaking of subscribers, YouTube, right? We need some more. Click the like and subscribe. Helps us out and battle everyone else that's out there in the daily fantasy land. So we would really appreciate that here at Rotogrinders. Pitching just keeps going and going and going and going tonight. Let's talk maybe some of the second tier guys. I think Heaney's pretty interesting because one, he's too cheap, I think, on both sites tonight. He gives you the ability to get some of the bigger bats. He's been hot and cold through all of his starts here, but outside of maybe one or two bats for Cleveland, it looks like he should have a pretty reasonable outing here today. Without Trout, right, the odds of the win on the offensive side, maybe it's a little bit lower, but the strikeout ability he's shown, I like him as probably one of the cheaper plays. And, if you're on like DraftKings, I think pretty popular builds, right, is probably going to be Snell and Heaney to get a lot of the good bats today. How do you think that works, those two together? Because there is a little bit of risk in both of them.
I think Heaney's a great play. I mean, he's the highest strikeout rate on the season on this slate, 33.6% K percentage. Swinging strike rate is really high, 13.9, which is good. So it lines. The walks have been under control. He's just a tad under 7%. But, he is a guy that can struggle with command. But if he's on, he usually, racks up those Ks. And he does get an extreme pitcher's umpire tonight. So that's a nice sign for him. And the matchup is great. I mean, so the problem with him has been the home run. So, I mean, he's pushing a 20% home run to fly ball, almost 40% fly balls. But there's really not a ton of home run threats. There's a couple, but not a ton in this matchup. I mean, this has been a pretty anemic offense, and Luplow might be out tonight. He got dinged up yesterday in that game, so that would be another. He's one of their home run threats against left-handed pitching, and so it really would be Jose Ramirez and Franmil Reyes would be the really two guys that I'm concerned on in the lineup, but nobody else. So I think Heaney's an awesome play tonight.
Yeah, we didn't even really talk about Lance Lynn, who just can go out there and be a machine. Just had a great start against the same Twins team, 5 innings, 9 Ks, 2 hits and 3 walks. Didn't get the quality start, but he did get the win. And he's someone you can normally pencil in to go 6, maybe even 7 innings. He only won 5 in that one. Where does he – I think he's like looks like our projected ownership has him up there pretty high. To me, I think he's maybe going a little bit lower owned than what our current projected ownership is going to be. Where does he stand for you in the rank of everybody? Yeah,
so he's going to get overlooked a little bit. I mean, the guy has the strikeout stuff. We know that. He's over 31% on the season this season. He hasn't gone quite as deep recently, but the pitch count has been there. So it's been, he did struggle with this Minnesota squad in his last start. That was, that you can give him a pass on that, although he did have 9 Ks. He just didn't go very deep. So you can give him a pass on that one. But tonight, it's he gets the rematch here. But I don't know. It's just that Minnesota doesn't strike out a ton. He did strike him out, 9 times in that last start, but he had to work for it. Now, their lineup is Garver's banged up a little bit.
This lineup's going to be garbage when it comes out.
Yeah, it probably is. So take a look at that may change things, and I may end up liking more. The wind's blowing in. 10 miles per hour, which is nice. So I'm going to keep my eye on ownership. I definitely think he's worth playing tonight for sure. And if the ownership, if he's kind of getting overlooked and forgotten about, and people are just, zoning in on Wheeler, Woodruff, Haney, and Snell, then Lance Lynn I'll start moving more lineups to him.
Yeah, he definitely seems like the guy that's going overlooked to me from my general thoughts today. A couple other guys, real quickly, we'll get into some position by position stuff here. But there is one. There's Jamison Tyon. I was looking at the bat. Doesn't really like him today. That's the main thing I look at here on Rotogrinders Cardi's projection system. But he's got some big strikeout upside. It's against Texas that likes to strike out. Where does he stand? He's another one of these cheap guys that could certainly compete to at least get close to the top. I don't think he can match the elite arms, but he's cheap enough where he can compete for basically like an SP2 on a site like DraftKings or your home on Yahoo.
Yeah, I really liked him in the last start, and it was really disappointing. He got, banged up pretty well against the Tampa Bay Rays. But he did strike out 9 batters. So he has flashed his strikeout stuff this season. And Texas is certainly a lineup that strikes out. Like you mentioned, they're 27.3%, third in the league against right-handed pitching. I'm good to go with him tonight. I really like him, especially if there's some bats I want to prioritize, then that's the way to do it. It is a hitter's umpire, but not an extreme hitter's umpire. So that's a tad concerning, but I have confidence in him. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing some Texas power bats against him too, as he struggled with those left-handers, and they got some pretty good, left-handers, and they got my guy, the Cuban Missile, Adolis Garcia.
That dude's been mashing every single. No one plays him. He just keeps homering.
The Cuban Missile. I called him out yesterday too, and he's been mashing. So I wouldn't mind playing some of these Texas bats, but certainly this is a good spot for Tyon.
All right. Someone in chat, is this like a thing with you on the shows? They want to know if they can stack the Orioles today. Is that like a thing, or is that just a question?
I have no idea. I guess it's just a normal question.
Can you stack the O's today?
I never stack the O's, but I probably should. I mean, I think it's a tough situation I think the Rays. I mean, they have so many arms. This Patino is going to probably go about 4 innings in this one. But their bullpen, they just got so many arms in there that could I have a lot of trouble seeing this one really go off. I mean, you can stack anybody. You can stack any team on this slate tonight, but they're not my favorite by any means.
All right, we do have to hit on some bats in just a second, but there's like this second, third tier of pitchers, maybe like the third tier of Urias, Christian Javier, Ryu's he's always capable of putting up a big game against anybody because he's a really good pitcher. Rodriguez has been pitching pretty well for Boston. I know you're the Boston fan there. What's out of like the second, third tier of pitchers? Which one of those sounds the best to you today?
Yeah, I'm not. So I'm pretty much. So I'm out on both of the Rodriguez and Ryu tonight. In Dunedin, it's just such a nice hitter park. Although it looks like the wind is blowing in there, but it's hot. The ball flies there, and it's a good park for hitting. And the Red Sox mash left-handed pitching. They've got a bunch of lefty mashers in that lineup.
That's not a real. Is that a real thing? I thought
it's real to me. That's all that I can. So and vice versa, and Erod is this is not the matchup I expect him to excel in. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, he could mow down a lot of these Toronto bats, but I mean, these guys just have so much upside. It's just such a potent lineup. I would play the bats, especially if they're going to be lower owned tonight. Either I know I typically don't want to stack against Ryu, but I like both of these sides for bats tonight.
All right, let's get to some bats here, but before we do,
there's a cheap.
There's the 4K. There's the 4K dude, right?
Yeah, he's got good pedigree. He's got 80. He threw 80 pitches in
the
his
Braves
last
pitcher.
Oh no, not him. I was talking about Bubic from Kansas City.
All right.
And he's 4K and he's facing the Brewers. We like the strikeouts of Brewers. Brewers did get a little healthier with Christian Yelich is back in the lineup tonight. Lorenzo Cain revenge. So I do want to play some of these Brewers bats tonight, but if you're looking for a 4K punt at pitcher, I mean that's the spot.
Give me Tucker Davidson. There's a lot of them tonight, so I like Davidson stretched out going up against the Mets as the 4K punt. they threw a couple new ones. So you got like Corbin Martin, who's a reasonable prospect, but he's going up against the Dodgers. Probably not going to mess with there. Not going to play Poteet. I like Tucker Davidson as the 4K play in DraftKings. You pair him with like one of Snell or Heaney, and you can really make like an all-star stack lineup if he just puts up 15 out of a 4K pitcher, that can get you there if your bats go off.
Yep, same concept for my guy on KC.
All right, yeah. So let's get into some bats, but I want to talk to you guys about Crunch Time Fridays Big Brain. Kirkwood, my brain, like Dean, right? Dean would rack up all the money on that thing because his brain holds useless information. My brain, it holds like sports statistics and things to do with stocks. That's all my brain holds. But we've been doing this thing. They've been sponsoring Crunch Time on Fridays. So Crunch Time's free. And then after it, you can go play like a trivia show. The first week it was like Duke trivia. I don't know how that turned out. We had a lot of people playing last week. And there's going to be something going on every Friday. So make sure to check that out. It's playbigbrain.com. It's a trivia app. You can get a deposit bonus. Devin will give you all the information in there. There's a lot of trivia. And I know Devin, I guess I'll ask him when he comes on a little later. Devin would probably do good on trivia too and clean up here. How does Kirkwood do in things like trivia?
Terrible. I'm one of the worst. So my only edge would be to have my girl next to me doing it. And then, I could handle the sports and she could take over on the other stuff.
Yeah, that's what I do, except sports, stocks. That's about once in a while. I'll get something else on Jeopardy, but that's about all. If they do one of those on Big Brain, maybe I'll join in. But most of the other topics, I'll be basically useless. But yeah, Crunch Time's free, right? On Fridays, if you want the weather, if you want cheese and whoever else is usually doing that, you'll be able to get that for free on Fridays, thanks to Big Brain. So make sure to go check them out and, give them a thanks for sponsoring Crunch Time. All right, let's get into bats. I guess positions, we'll do that a little bit here today. What offenses are we really stacking today? Obviously, I think everyone's on Tampa Bay against Matt Harvey. He's probably the worst pitcher on the slate over long term. There's a lot of things up in the air with some of the newer pitchers making their debuts tonight. There's 28 teams playing tonight. Kirkwood, the Rays, they're the most popular. Do you play Meadows and Rosarena? Do you play these guys in large field tournaments when they're 25-30% on? Everyone's on these guys tonight.
It depends on your contest. So you got to get down to the smaller size contests. If I have limited entries in these large field stuff, then no, I'm not playing them. I'm looking for a way around them. But in the smaller field tournaments, a single man, the 3-man entry, I'm looking for. I do want to play them because I think there's a really solid chance that stack goes off, and then I find a way to make it put a little of my own touch on it to make it a little bit different.
Yeah, what are we looking at outside of Tampa Bay? The team I like. Sorry to pick on your Bostons, but Toronto is looking pretty juicy in that park tonight. I like them against Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been good, but that Toronto lineup I think is really good, and anything can happen in that ballpark. It's sort of like Coors Light to me. So I like Toronto as a lower owned stack that I think can get there. You mentioned the Yankees earlier in the show. What else is really standing out to you tonight?
Yeah, the Yankees doesn't seem like there's going to get a ton of ownership tonight. Is that true or is that wrong? Because it's pricing, I think.
Yeah, the pricing is going to – I mean, you can get there on DraftKings. You could play Snell with one of the 4K pitchers, and you can get the Yankee stacks. People have that in their arsenal, no problem.
Oh, they got Brett Gardner batting second. Oh, he did well last night, and people played him, which made me angry. I thought last night, unfortunately, I thought the edge on the slate on Yahoo was to fade Madrigal.
Did not work out for you.
Did not work out. I was dead. I was just dead. Even when I faded Cole, it was terrible. Oh my God, we got Chop in the house here for his BVP plays of the day.
I forgot Brittler was a thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What's up, Chop? Long time no see.
I can tell you right now who he likes. He's upset about the weather because he really wanted to play Carl Schwarber.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks Bregman is a really good play tonight, and his sneaky play is Teoscar Hernandez.
Oh, I like Teoscar. I like that whole Blue Jays team. I can get on board with that for sure. Teoscar got good BVP?
Three dongs in 14 at bats.
Oh yeah, Teoscar's going deep for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me just scroll. You mentioned the Yankees. What about the Dodgers? Right, late night against a good prospect, but you never know what's really going to happen when these guys get their first major league start. Their lineup's a little weak today. A little weak is probably doing it some favors when you get towards the bottom. But the top four: Betts, Muncy, Taylor, Smith, even Beatty fifth, and Pujols and Yoshi and Lux towards the bottom. I think that's a pretty reasonable stack. And the ownership looks, I mean, there's 28 teams playing tonight. The ownership's not really going to be high on anybody tonight except Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's a tough ask to ask this Martin kid to go into LA and mow down these Dodgers. So I think the Dodgers absolutely have a lot of upside, could rip into this bullpen pretty quickly, and you have to like that. Who else am I looking for here? I wanted to mention, I'm kind of tempted in thinking that Zach Plesac is going to have a good start tonight. His velocity's been up. His strikeouts have been down. He hasn't been a huge K pitcher, but he knows there's been a lot of reports about he's got to get his strikeout stuff up. So with a Troutless lineup, I think it's going to end up being tonight. No one's going to go there. I'm kind of interested in him tonight.
All right. Let's go position by position. But first, let me talk to you about Super Draft. We've added it to Lineup HQ over maybe a month, 2 months ago. We are offering for the PGA Championship a $1,000 Super Draft free roll. So if you want to check that out, you can get into that. There's a link on the YouTube. Devin will drop that for everybody. And if you want to play for real money, there's a $50 instant free deposit, right? So if you deposit $50, you get basically $100 in your account playable right away. And then on top of that, you get a 50% up to $500 deposit match. So you can deposit $1,000, you would get the free 50 of $1,050, and then you get to earn off the extra $500 too. It's promo code Grinders on sign up. Devin's going to drop the link for you. If you like golf and you're a premium member, you can check out the premium content. There's a lot of good stuff that we do here on Rotogrinders for golf. So check that out with Super Draft. $1,000 free roll for the PGA Championship. All right, catcher tonight. Maybe, I mean, you got to Yahoo, you got to roster one of those stupid guys, but Gary's chance says, is he still like $7 over there?
I think he's $9.
Oh, the prices are going up. What do you like at the catcher position tonight?
I do like Gary Sanchez tonight. I like Will Smith. I want to get a little jiggy with it. I like I kind of like Zunino because he's such boom or bust. You know what you're getting. You're getting either K's or
that is all over Zunino tonight. It's like in every single optimal you play, Zunino ends up in it over there.
Well, and Mercedes, batting cleanup after he took Williams Astudillo deep last night.
How dare you swing on 3-0 and get reprimanded for it, right?
Yeah. But 4,600, like that. Austin Nola is probably my favorite. I want to see. We don't. Did he make the lineup? Yes, he's batting cleanup. Wow, yeah. That's he goes up even more. I liked him a lot. You got to like him with the platoon against Gomber, and really bad Rockies bullpen. Although they have, Givens is good, but that's about it.
Let's go to first base. Always a plethora of players. If you have the money, I think you can play Freddie Freeman pretty easily today. He is expensive, though, at least on DraftKings and even on FanDuel. If you don't have the money for him, are there any other players you're really looking to save a couple of bucks on?
Let's see here. So I really like Yandy Diaz on DraftKings, at least. I don't want to play G-Man Choi. I get the play, but he's going to be really chalky. I think that's a little bit of a differentiator to play Diaz instead of him. I mean, the guy is just an on-base machine. He can go deep. I like this matchup for him against Harvey. Freeman, you said, is good. Luke Voigt, depending on the site, is really cheap. He's really cheap on Yahoo. He's really cheap on FanDuel. Yep. I mean, it's home run upside against Bolte, right? That's what you want. Matt Olson looks pretty good. He always gets forgotten about. No one ever really plays him enough. Pete Alonso with the platoon against young kid. And then potentially Shohei, depending on what site. But those are the guys that I've been kind of looking at this point.
Yeah, second base, again, the Rays are going to be super popular tonight. We got Brandon Lowe. I think he's pretty expensive, I think, on both sides for what he's really done this year. But I'm guessing the matchup with Matt Harvey in the algorithms has boosted his price up a little bit. He looks to be the extremely chalk play. Where do you get different from him? I know he's, what is he, 5,100 on DraftKings, and I think he's 34, 32 on FanDuel. How do you get anywhere different from him? In cash games, I think he's probably the play. But tournaments, you can always get a little weird.
Yeah, it's kind of rough, though. There's not a ton of – I mean, he clearly has the most upside at this position in this matchup for sure. You could play DJ LeMahieu. He's a little overpriced, 5,600, but, against Pulte. Kiki is supposed to be back for the lineup with the platoon. Not the best matchup at all, but he's cheaper at 3,400. If he makes the lineup, I think he will. Marcus Semien on the other side, who's been, raking this season. You could play him. I don't know. I mean, Jake Cronenworth, no one, people will look at the lefty matchup and probably not play him as much, but he's only 4K. I like that.
I got Segura on FanDuel too. He was like 2,100 a couple of days ago. He's 2,600 now, so the price went up, but it's not. He should be a 3,000 plus player on FanDuel pretty easily.
Yep, I like that.
All right, let's go to the third base position. I don't know, nothing real. I do like Vlad. I have mentioned I like the Blue Jays quite a bit tonight against Rodriguez. You can always play that Vlad. He's expensive though. I think you can play Segura at third base on FanDuel as well. If that fits the bill, you can slide him in over there. I don't have what is Joey Wendell? Is he third base? Is he like the Rays third baseman? Can you throw him in there, or is there anyone else you're really looking at?
Alex Bregman is Chop's BVP play of the day, one of them. So you can go for, but Manaea got ripped up against the Red Sox in his last start. Houston certainly capable of doing some damage against them, so you can go there. Moncada is priced reasonably at 4,700. Kyle Seager is cheap against Turnbull at 4,200. Urshela brings some home run upside in a really potent lineup. Do we have the Yankees? Yeah, we do. Yeah, he's batting cleanup like that. Manny Machado is, he homered yesterday. He's starting to heat up a little bit here. He gets the great matchup with the platoon. You got to like him against the lefty. And then Jonathan VR is third base on DK, and I think he's on Yahoo too. Is cheap, but batting leadoff against Suspect. I know you like this kid, but we'll see how he pitches. Tucker Davidson. Anyone name? I'm not a big fan of the name Tucker in general. So
Kyle Tucker, or is there like some
first name Tucker? Just I don't know. It just
is this like did someone beat you up in high school, or did you made fun of, or you like Tucker Barnhart? You lost a tournament. What's going on here?
It just feels like white privilege to me, doesn't it? Like Tucker, like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I did not have any personal experiences with Tucker, but not my favorite name, so it's the guy I want to attack. Anyways, that the Braves bullpen has been horrendous this season, and so he brings some, a little bit of pop and definitely some steal upside. So and his price is cheap, so 3.3K. I like that.
All right, let's go to shortstop. There's a couple of cheap plays. If you're looking on FanDuel, let me see. Like how many Rays is too many Rays? You've got Willy Adames. You mentioned VR. He's 2,600 on FanDuel. Dansby Swanson's 2,500. That's where I'm doing most of my playing tonight. So I focused over there. I like those three. Would you take Adames at the bottom of the lineup, hitting ninth, or would you take VR or Swanson for a couple bucks more with a better batting spot?
I would take VR, but I could see that 9. If they start really pounding that lineup, they're on the road there.
That's like one at bat against Harvey, though, possible.
Yeah. True.
What else you looking at? Lindor too. I think he's finally breaking out of his slump. He's a little bit too cheap on FanDuel.
He's too cheap everywhere, pretty much. I don't know if he's really breaking. I mean, he did homer once the other day. He did.
He's making contact with the ball.
He got 2 walks. Had a decent game yesterday because he got 2 walks and a stolen base, so that saved him. But I mean, yeah, I just keep playing him. He's too cheap. You like this. I like the spot in general for the Mets. I like both sides of this game. And so, yeah, I like him. Bo Bichette is probably the high end guy that with the best, with the most upside potentially. Tim Anderson, Trey Turner. We have to worry about weather, but if that game plays, Xander is going to go. Oh, no one's going to play Xander. He's going to be super low owned. He's expensive. Not the best matchup, but he is a lefty masher. So I could get down with a little bit of him. Yeah, that's where I'm looking. No, I don't know. I was going to say you could play Jazz Chisholm.
I'm just checking. You mentioned the weather. I'm checking Roth's Twitter. He posted a video of the radar in Chicago for that game, and there's the storms are moving right into Chicago, and it doesn't look great in that Chicago game based off his radar. So if you want all the latest on that, and you are a premium member, make sure to go check out Crunch Time. That will air at 6:30. We're going to be done here at 6:20, so you'll be able to get that right after the show. All right, let's do the outfield real quick. Then we'll invite Devin in. He's been getting questions from the chat all show long. If you guys do have any questions about anything, right? Life, if you got questions about life, if you want to know good places to eat out in Boston, you can talk to Kirkwood, Central New York. I got that. Or if you got anything about the slate, throw it in the YouTube chat, and Devin will be more.
What crazy food stuff are you into these days?
Oh,
recently, there's got to be something.
Nothing really. I just eat a lot of crap all the time. Yeah. I went to Walgreens yesterday, and for like $2, I got about like 14 all giant bags of candy that are normally like $6.99 were 14 cents. I don't know what the hell was happening over there, but I'm set for a while.
Was it somebody? was it supposed to be 14 cents or somebody?
Yeah, it was all on clearance. It was all on clearance, and I just walked up, and the girl at the register was like, wait, she's like, you got all this for $2? And I'm like, yep. She's like, I gotta go see what's left. And I'm like, nothing's left. So that's just a lot of junk is what I eat. But that's why I work out basically every day, so I can eat whatever I want. Anyway, I'll get your questions into YouTube. We'll bring Devin on in just a few minutes, and we'll get those answered for you. What do you like? I want Acuna, but he's almost not, like, unless you're playing the 4K pitchers on DraftKings, he's almost unattainable at 6,300. There's no Mike Trout. Soto I was looking at, but now he's looking a little iffy in the weather game. You got Judge, but he's expensive. You got, what do we do with Harper, right? Like over the weekend, he was bunting because when he came in to pinch hit, he couldn't like swing. How are you handling Bryce Harper today?
A little shoulder tightness, but supposedly he's good to go. I mean, it's a great matchup for him, Harper, I certainly would like. I mean, this kid Poteet, certainly monster home run upside for Bryce in his home park here, and also the bullpen. I mean, I do like Harper a lot tonight, so love him. I'll keep playing Kelnick. I mean, why he's still 2,900 on DraftKings blows my mind. So I just play him every night. And I'll just keep doing it. Hopefully he'll hit a bomb tonight against Turnbull. But I think Lorenzo Cain is interesting for cheap. I think Tommy Pham is certainly in play at 3,100. So, I do love the Austin Meadows. I mean, why is Meadows 3,800? It's just ridiculous. So I do like those
algorithms.
Guys.
I don't know. They forgot to price them up today.
But Joey Gallo, I can get behind for the home run upside against Tyon. There's plenty of plays tonight. All over. Aaron Judge against Bolte is 6K. No, I mean, it's going to be tough for people to play that, but you can do it with pitching. I mean, you can play guys like Tyon. You can play Patrick Corbin. We didn't mention the weather again. If that game can play, that's on DraftKings. I mean, that price is, after the way he looked in his last start, I would be. I'd be all over playing him at 6.1K tonight.
Yeah, it took him all season to get into form, but finally bounced back a little bit in his last start there. All right, I guess we'll do some Q&A. Devin, come on in. Welcome to the show. What's the Nashville hot chicken? I wish I could have some of that. Nashville hot vegetables, is that a thing, Devin?
Oh yeah, there's a place that does tempeh bacon. Just like it's just grains and nuts that they just compact into like this little like bacon bit thing. But yeah, they got like spicy tempeh strips. They'll blow your
mouth
out.
Nashville is all about the banana pudding.
It depends on the circles, right?
That's Dean.
Dean's not here today, so I don't know about the banana pudding.
Too busy at Costco today.
What's up, Devin? How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could get some weird food things from chat. I threw out that I've been snacking on garlic pieces. Didn't get any bites.
What's a
That's
garlic?
hardcore, straight garlic.
Just garlic,
pieces,
yeah. It's stinky. Let me tell you.
You're just eating raw garlic, or
it's
is
good.
It cooked in some way?
Oh man, my immune system is just through the roof right now. It's been great.
You're not getting sick like me then.
Oh no. I could run a mile, but I'm not going to. All right, well let's take some questions. You guys want to just bounce back and forth, and we'll just take turns answering them.
Sure.
Whatever you got. All
right. Stan wants to know, Kirk, DK tournament, any interest in Urias? I don't think we actually touched on him.
I have mild interest in him. I certainly, I'm fine with playing against Arizona lineup. I think he should have a really efficient start tonight. So I do like that. He's going to go. No one's going to play him at that price because they're going to look for strikeout upside in other places. But he looked pretty good in his last start, so I'm on board there.
Yeah, he's got what 1, 2, 3, 4. What I would consider GPP winning starts so far this year, and that Arizona lineup isn't too great. So low owned, right? Instead of playing Snell or Lance Lynn, right? If you just want to get a little different, I think that's fine.
All right, Britt. This one comes from Joe, and actually kind of ties into Donnie's question as well. DK SP2, is Bubic safe?
I'm not as high on Bubic as Kirkwood is tonight, so that would. I'm going to take the no on that one. I think I would much rather play like a Snell or Andrew Heaney.
If you had to pick a 4K pitcher, what would be your favorite one?
I like the Atlanta guy tonight, Tucker Davidson, for sure. I think Kirkwood had a different one.
Yeah, Bubic's my guy.
Bubic.
Yeah, I like the Atlanta guy.
All right, and somebody was asking for the pitching or the umpire info, so I can just leave that up on the screen for a minute here while I get to the next one. Stan wants to know, Cub stack. Are you doing it, Kirk?
Well, we'll see with weather. No, I was on board with pitching. What's his name? Sorry,
Corbin.
Corbin. I was on board, but I mean, it could work out.
All right, Britt. Thoughts on a Pittsburgh stack? Gant sucks, says Eric.
I know Gant's not great, but like you got to ask yourself, there's 28 teams playing. Is the Pittsburgh stack gonna be the one that wins tonight? I'm gonna take the no on that one. So that would probably be close to the last team I stack up tonight. What about you, Kirkwood?
I mean, Eric Johnson, he just called Mize yesterday for that start yesterday. So you got to ride him.
Yeah.
So if he's on the Pirates, then play a little Pirates. But I'll take the Detroit Tigers for my stack. Justin Dunn is just not very good. I mean, this guy's talk about pushing almost 16% walks, giving up massive fly balls, a nice amount of hard contact. Has his home run to fly balls been a little bit low, so I expect that to increase here. Just not very much strikeouts. I'm 8.5% swinging strike rate. So if these Detroits are going to be putting the ball in play here, I can get behind them for a cheap kind of a vomit stack.
You mentioned Eric in chat. They come in every day with an obligatory Miami stack question. Are we stacking the Marlins tonight? Seems pretty contrarian on tonight's slate.
I don't know. I'm not doing that against Wheeler tonight.
I mean, you can.
Maybe one lineup out of 20. Why not?
A little sprinkle.
Yeah.
I think there's time. I don't know. There's times when you want to stack against one of the highest owned pitchers. I don't know. There's too many teams tonight. I don't know. I don't think I would do that.
I'd say 32% projected owned on Zach Wheeler. You could easily be overweight on him and still get yourself a stack in.
1 in 150.
There you go. Flores Mark, friend of the show. Thoughts on Castillo? He's been a trash lately, but the bat has him projected well. Kirk, thoughts on Castillo?
Well, he's not. He's in. He goes off early.
Oh,
right?
Is that on the early slate?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have really any thoughts on him.
We'll get on him. Get him on the next main slate. Britt, John wants to know. Can you? Oh, never mind. Chop wants to know. DJ LeMahieu, BVP special. Britt, you playing any of the human sneeze?
I like the Yankees tonight. LeMahieu I don't know. He hasn't really been done it. surely play Yankee stacks tonight. I think that's one of the better offenses.
I always laugh because these questions where they're specified somebody specifically between the two of you, and it lands on the other one. So we'll go back to John's question. Kirk, they want to know if Baltimore is stackable tonight.
No, I'm not on Baltimore tonight. You can do anybody here tonight, but I don't see them. I just have too much faith in that Rays bullpen.
Eric Johnson wants to know, Britt, on DK, can we play this Louis Patino guy from Tampa Bay? I think there was mention that he's on a pitch count, right?
No, I wouldn't play him. I like the Braves 4K pitcher. Kirkwood likes Bubik. Play those guys if you're looking for the cheap 4K guy.
All right. Clement wants to know, Kirk, out of these 4 stacks, do you like? What do you think of my top stacks tonight? Yankees, Braves, Tampa Bay, and Cubs. Any of those you'd take out?
Like them all except the Cubs.
All right, Britt. When's the last? This is a definitely a Britt question. When's the last time you checked your Top Shot account, Britt?
Oh, you know what? Man. It's been I got my like 5 cash outs from there, and now I got like I left some money in case they ever offer a pack again that's worthwhile. But I'm pretty much out. The last pack was like minus EV to even buy the thing.
I'm so dumb. I've just held on to so much.
Oh no,
Top Shot, and I just know there's really no reason to keep holding because it's just going to go down even more once the season's over.
Yeah, we're going into the off season.
And I'm stuck holding the bag.
The emotional.
I hate everybody out there who threw Top Shot in my face and got me into Top Shot.
It was great. You got it.
Just want to say that.
It had to be early.
I could have made a lot more than I did. I made a little bit, right? But I'm holding some cheap things to get whatever I don't even know what's going on anymore. The tickets you turn into whatever.
That's 6 months down the road. That won't be anytime soon.
But I'm basically done. I don't really look at it anymore.
The wave of emotional journey that Kirk went through as soon as I asked that question.
Everybody did for that 1 month.
All right, let's see. We'll get a few more questions from chat. Got about 2 minutes left. Alan wants to know, are we doing a Vomit Tigers stack versus the Mariners? Kirk?
I'm on board. Yes, sir.
On board. Britt, Eric wants to know on DK, thoughts on Ryu?
Tough to use him tonight with that park. Boston can hit. Apparently they are lefty mashers. Even the bat will tell you there are no such things. But anything can happen in that ballpark. I would take a pass, but would it surprise me if Ryu has like a top 5 performance tonight? Not at all.
All right. Yeah, wants to know 2 cash game pitchers for DK. Kurt, who's your SP1 and SP2 for cash?
It is going to be Wheeler and Snell. Maybe Haney. You could do Haney.
And just so everyone knows, Eric Johnson in chat, who called Casey Mize yesterday, I'm going back to Turnbull is the last message.
I can get behind Turnbull tonight in this matchup. He looked pretty decent in his last one. His breaking stuff was working.
Ryan Henderson in chat is feeling the pain as far as the Top Shot losses, but don't worry, we got a long off season to go, so buckle up.
I'll put 2 Turnbull. Like if you're looking for a low owned upside, no one's gonna have tonight. I think I can agree with that. I think we're all on board with that.
All right. Well, we got about a minute left in the show, so Britt, why don't you go ahead and take us home?
All right. Well, thanks to everybody for watching. Click the like and subscribe button on your way out of here. Make sure to check out that Friday crunch time. It will be free for everybody. Thanks to Big Brain. Go check them out. If you like trivia, we got that super draft free roll, $1,000 free roll for that. Devin is furiously going to be spamming everything with the links.
Buckle up.
There's so much going on here. If you're new to Rotogrinders, you want $10 off. We got a promo code for that for your first month. Just lots going on. Fun to do the show on the weekends, right? I'm normally doing this all producing behind the scenes. It's been a blast to just do the show and not have to worry about all that. So thanks to Devin. Kirkwood, great getting back in touch with you. Always fun doing with you. Go crush some Yahoo tonight. And Devin, always fun seeing you. Thanks to everyone for watching, and we out, y'all.